Hannah Hally, and welcome back to Icons of Influence, the series where we explore how influence is built, scaled, and sustained across business, culture, and leadership. Today's episode is about one of the most influential figures of the modern era. Not just a media personality, not just a businesswoman, but an architect of trust, ownership, and long-term power. This is the story of Oprah Winfrey. Her journey shows us how influence evolves when it's rooted in credibility, how ownership reshapes authority, and how identity, when integrated rather than hidden, becomes a strategic advantage. Oprah Winfrey was born in rural Mississippi in 1954 into poverty, instability, and trauma. Her early life included abuse, displacement, and deep emotional hardship. Experiences that would later inform not only her empathy, but her leadership style. What distinguishes Oprah early on is not opportunity, but voice. As a child, she demonstrated an exceptional ability to communicate, to read emotion, and to connect. That skill became her leverage long before she had power, money, or platform. After studying communications, Oprah entered radio and television, working local news roles that were far from glamorous. She wasn't groomed for stardom, she earned it through adaptability and emotional intelligence. Her move to Chicago in the mid-1980s to co-host a struggling morning show was pivotal. Instead of conforming to the existing formula, Oprah reshaped it. She shifted the tone from detached reporting to human storytelling. She centered empathy, curiosity, and emotional truth, and audiences responded immediately. That show became The Oprah Winfrey Show, but its success wasn't accidental. Oprah identified something fundamental. People don't just want information, they want understanding. They want to feel seen. This was the foundation of her authority, not expertise imposed from above, but trust built from shared experience. What truly separates Oprah from many media figures is not popularity, it's control. Early in her career, Oprah made a decision that would change everything. She negotiated ownership of her show. In doing so, she shifted from talent to power broker. She wasn't just appearing on television, she owned the asset. That decision led to the creation of Harpo Productions, giving Oprah control over content, distribution, and intellectual property. This allowed her to build a vertically integrated media empire rather than relying on networks or advertisers to define her value. The Oprah Winfrey Show ran for 25 years and reached millions of viewers daily, but its influence extended far beyond ratings. Oprah became a cultural authority, a figure audiences trusted to guide conversations on health, relationships, race, trauma, and ambition. Her book club reshaped publishing economics. Titles featured became instant bestsellers, often transforming unknown authors into household names. Her endorsements moved markets. Her conversations shaped national dialogue. This wasn't hype-based influence. It was trust-based influence, the most durable form. Oprah understood something many miss. Attention is volatile, but trust compounds, and she protected that trust fiercely. As her influence matured, Oprah expanded with discipline. She didn't diversify randomly. She built an ecosystem. She launched O, the Oprah magazine, extending her voice into print. She invested in film and television projects that aligned with her values. She used her platform to elevate stories that might otherwise be ignored, particularly those centered on marginalized voices. The launch of the Oprah Winfrey Network marked another strategic shift. OWN struggled initially, facing financial and programming challenges, but Oprah stayed engaged, recalibrated leadership, refined the content strategy, and ultimately turned the network into a profitable, purpose-led business. This phase of her career highlights a critical leadership lesson. Influence isn't about avoiding failure. It's about how you respond to it. Oprah didn't retreat when OWN faltered. She applied patience, learning, and long-term thinking. Her investment decisions further reinforced this strategy. Her partnership with Weight Watchers wasn't a traditional endorsement. It was an equity-based move, aligning her personal narrative with ownership and value creation. She positioned herself not as a spokesperson, but as a stakeholder. Everything connected back to a consistent core: growth, responsibility, self-awareness, and transformation. A defining dimension of Oprah's influence is how she integrated identity into authority. As a Black woman operating in a historically exclusionary media and business environment, Oprah didn't suppress her experience. She centered it. She spoke openly about trauma, abuse, failure, and fear, not for spectacle, but for understanding. This vulnerability was not unstructured or excessive. It was intentional. Oprah shared with purpose, knowing that selective transparency builds credibility. She modeled emotional intelligence as leadership, long before it became a corporate buzzword. Through her platform, she normalized conversations around mental health, self-worth, accountability, and personal development. She reframed success as something internal as well as external. Over time, Oprah became more than a media figure. She became a cultural reference point, someone people turn to for perspective, guidance, and meaning. That level of influence carries weight, and Oprah consistently treated it as stewardship rather than entitlement. She understood that authority without integrity erodes quickly, and she built systems, values, and boundaries to protect both. No icon operates without criticism, and Oprah is no exception. Her endorsements, interviews, and platform choices have at times drawn scrutiny. Some argue that her influence has been too powerful, that certain voices were amplified without sufficient challenge. Others question the commercialization of self-help culture. What's important here is not whether criticism exists, but how Oprah responds to it. She has repeatedly demonstrated a willingness to reflect, recalibrate, and evolve. Rather than doubling down defensively, she has adjusted her approach as her understanding deepened. That adaptability has allowed her influence to mature rather than fracture. This is a critical distinction. Many figures build influence quickly and lose it just as fast. Oprah's power has endured because it is grounded in reflection, accountability, and long-term thinking. Oprah Winfrey's career offers some of the clearest lessons in modern influence. First, ownership creates leverage. Control over your platform allows you to scale influence without surrendering autonomy. Second, trust is the ultimate currency. Influence built ethically and consistently outlasts influence built on controversy or spectacle. Third, values scale when they're operationalized. Oprah didn't just talk about growth, she built businesses around it. Fourth, identity can be authority. Lived experience, when integrated with competence, becomes a powerful source of credibility. Fifth, influence is stewardship. The most enduring leaders treat power as something to protect, not exploit. Oprah Winfrey didn't just rise through the media industry, she reshaped it. She turned voice into ownership, vulnerability into authority, and visibility into long-term impact. Her story reminds us that the most powerful influence isn't loud or aggressive. It's intentional, it's earned, and it's built patiently over time. I'm Hannah Hally, and this was Icons of Influence. Until next time, build what you own, honor what you carry, and remember, real influence lasts because it's grounded in trust.